So here we are. Hi, everyone. New Year has started. I know a lot of people take New Year's for resolutions. I'm not a big fan of resolutions because they generally don't last. We take resolution, after 2-3 days, we realize, oh, I can't do that. And then we completely give up. That's not exactly the way I do. I generally try to have a plan instead. And I listen a lot to the personal development speakers, and I realized that planning is much better. So first I wanted to apologize for today and all the mistake I will do. I have only a few notes about what I want to share with you, so I will not be reading anything. So obviously there will be some mistake. As you can hear, English is not my mother tongue. But a lot of people ask me about, Amina, how can I handle 2022 better after this lockdown, the 3 lockdowns? I've gained weight, I've been out of track completely. How can I come back? So I wanted to share what worked for me, what are my thoughts, and then take whatever works for you and leave what you think is not for you. Before I start, I just wanted to introduce myself. So my name is Amina Karin. Karin is my French name. I think everyone can guess I am French. Amina is my Muslim name because I became Muslim in 2095, long years ago. Yes, I was 1 year. No, I was 20 when I reverted to Islam. So that's my Muslim name. And I am now a wellness and nutrition coach. So my goal and my job is to help people reach their ideal weight through healthy and balanced nutrition, but not only nutrition, but adapted nutrition to hormones. Because a lot of people know what is healthy, very few people know what is balanced, and even fewer people know their hormones. And I realized when I started to coach ladies, I started in 2018 roughly, I realized that a lot of ladies struggled with their hormones. So I wanted to dig into that and learn more about hormones. I actually learned a lot. I bought some quite expensive courses about hormones, even if I didn't have a problem myself, but I'm so glad I did because now I'm going through perimenopause. So I can handle my own hormones in a better way. And the way I work is first, even before talking about money, starting anything or program or diet or whatever, I always give a free assessment, which is a nutritional and hormonal assessment, where I talk to people either face-to-face when they are quite local. And when they are local, the big advantage is they can go on my scale and I will do like a body scan for them. I will tell them all their body, fat, muscle, bone, water, the age of the body, the calories they actually burn in a day, everything that the scale would tell me. If they have a similar scale and they are far, I can explain as well. And when people are not local, I do that on a video call that is 40-45 minutes. It's free because it's a way for me to meet new people and to choose who I want to work with, but also to spread the word about healthy eating. And I know that even if people don't start anything with me, I haven't wasted my time because I started to plant a seed in their mind about self-care, about care through nutrition. And even if they don't start anything, I will get some good deed for doing that. And they might come back later on, or they might refer me to their friends or family members. So that's not wasting time for me. So the topic today I wanted to talk about is how to handle the new year. So before talking about new year, where you want to go or things like that, you need first to know where you are and also what you want to leave behind. Because if you want to move forward, you will have to leave some stuff. You know, imagine yourself in a balloon, and when you want to elevate yourself, you can't if you're heavy. So you need to drop some weight. There are things that you need to keep, but there are things that you need to release. And what need to be released, we will talk about that today. So the thing that you need to leave behind would be bad habits. And we all have some bad habits, but not all the same. So I will go through a few of them and tick in your mind or even take note about what you have that you should leave behind. So the bad habits we can have are nibbling, but continuous nibbling, because nibbling here and there and having healthy snack is very healthy. I will talk about that later. But nibbling all the time, that's not a great thing to do. And if you nibble because you have sugar cravings, it probably means that you are completely unbalanced regarding your nutrition. And that's why your body sends you messages. And we don't always understand the message. We understand that there is a message. We understand the body wants to tell us something, but sometimes we misinterpret the meaning. Like, I will give you an example. When you see a toddler very hungry or very tired, they will have a tantrum. In both cases, if you give them a lollipop, they will calm down. But if every time they have a tantrum because they are tired or hungry, if every time you give them lollipop, long term, that would be a very big problem. But also, unconsciously, the toddler will think, oh, I feel moody, I feel bad. And last time I had that, the lollipop helped me. So I think I need a lollipop. And they will associate that lollipop to their mood, and they think that that is what they need. And they don't, that's not what they need. Yes, it fixed the problem for a few minutes or 1 hour, but it just postponed the problem. It doesn't solve it. And that's not what we want. I just wanted to go there if... and that's not what we want. So, and we are all like this toddler. We think that that the lollipop is what we need, but that's not what we actually need. So nibbling is a problem, and try to think when are the time when you nibble most and why, and try to, because we have 4 main reasons for nibbling. First is bored, when we are bored, when we are hungry, for comfort eating, and cravings. So if it's craving, you need to fix that, probably giving more protein to your body, because when we have craving, it's because we lack something, and most of the time it's protein. And that's the muscle asking for something, and we think that, oh yes, I will have a chocolate bar, it will fix the problem, I feel always better after that. Yes, you feel better after the bar, but that doesn't mean that your body needs that. And long term, having this bar all the time will trigger many other problem like diabetes or this kind of thing. Another bad habit you might want to leave behind about 2021 is being inactive or not doing sport. Again, always there are problem or situations, and try to find the why. So when we don't exercise, there are generally 2 main reasons. So we don't find the energy for that, and we can fix that. Again, eating better, eating more protein, and drinking more water, feeding the body properly will give us more energy. And that's why people who start a program with me, I never emphasize on sport at the beginning, because I know that naturally, after 3-4 days of eating healthy, they will not even be able to control the energy they have, and they will feel the need of walking or exercising. It will be like a need now. So it can be no energy, or maybe you always say, oh, I don't have time for sport. The problem with sport is that it's very important, but that's never urgent. And we are always trapped in the routine and the activity that are more urgent, but long-term, again, not being active at all will accumulate some fat around the heart that might trigger heart attack later on, or a stroke if all that fat is in artery that lead to the brain. So it's like your car. There are some things that are not urgent, but if you don't fix it, you might have a big explosion in the car. So the same for sport. So a way I deal with that, because my problem with sport is not the lack of energy. Alhamdulillah, I have plenty energy now since I started my program, but it's the lack of what I say, lack of time, but I know that's a lie because we all have 24 hours a day. Some very businessmen, businesswomen find the time to exercise. So if they do, we should. But for me, when I say lack of time, it's more lack of organization. And I need to, what I fixed with myself and worked for myself is to give an appointment, like I put that in the diary when I will exercise. I know that with the French team, we have 2 fit sport sessions online already, so that's in the diary. But I have some little exercise that are only 15-minute videos that fix particularly the hormones, that help rebalance the hormones. And these videos, if I don't plan them in the diary and I think, oh, yes, I will do that, that's 3 videos because it's generally 3 a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that I like to do. If I don't plan it in the diary, there is always something coming up and I will not do it. But if it's in the diary, even if something comes up, I always say, no, I can't do it now. It's like I have an appointment with myself. So that thing that comes up will wait until I finish. And that's something that maybe you can do. Then another bad habit you can have is bad meal or unbalanced meal. And again, ask yourself, what is the reason of that? Is it because you have only rubbish at home? So if, of course, if you didn't do proper shopping, you will not be able to have a proper meal because you will grab what's available. So maybe the shopping was not right. Maybe you didn't plan anything. When you go out at 10 or 11 in the morning, you know your lunch will find you outside. What have you planned for your lunch? If you know you will be in a place where there is healthy options, not too expensive or something that's fine, you will find there. No, most of the time we go out at 10 or 11, we know we will be out for lunch and we don't know what we will find. If you don't know what you will find, take something with you, plan in advance what you can bring in case you don't find anything. You have at least something to back up and to manage that meal and prepare that. Every time you do that, you will, instead of always being reactive and react to everything that comes to you, you will be proactive. You will plan in advance. And for the house, for example, plan in your house to always have plenty vegetables, plenty protein, different sort of protein. Like that, if you want to grab something, you might have a choice between healthy options as well. Other bad habit that you might want to leave behind is the bad thoughts. Because we are very quick on judgment, on judging ourselves. We are rubbish. I said I would do that and I didn't. I can't lose weight because blah, blah, blah. There is no one that can say, I can't lose weight or I can't do something. There are always ways of turning around. But the bad thought, why the bad thought comes to you, again, always ask yourself the reasons. Maybe it's a beginning or you are in depression. When you are in depression, again, check what is happening in your life. Of course, if you are in an abusive marriage, that depression will stay with that marriage, but always you have the option of thinking what you want to, how you want to see the situation and how you can reduce the way, how deep you go when you go in the depression and how long you stay down. And there is a way of controlling that in an easy way is, again, through nutrition and food. When you don't feel good, when you eat sugar or too much carbs, it's a quick fix. Yes, we feel better at the beginning, but when we go up a little, we go down more and we go deeper down. So it's harder to go back to the surface and have the water, the head out of the water and be able to breathe. So when you don't feel great, make sure you feed your body even better, because having a little of junk when you feel good is not really great, but the body will handle that. When you don't really feel good and you top up with a little of junk, that will make you feel worse. So we can't even afford to be eating some junk or something when you don't feel great. It's like when you have immune system very low, that's not the time when you will go to swimming pool or places where there is a lot of sick people or things like that, because you have to protect yourself even more. That's the same. When we don't feel great mentally, psychologically, we have to control what will come inside. And I have the picture of a boat in my mind. Always remember we are like a boat. You know, boats, the safer place they are is at the port. But that's not what they are made for. Boats are made to go through the seas. And what makes them sink is the water that goes inside. And both are made to go through the water. And that's the same for us with negative people and negative environment. You can't control that. Of course, there will always be plenty around you. That's like the water around the boat. But that will not make you sink until you accept it inside. And same for the boat. The water outside is not a danger. But when the water goes inside, that's when you start sinking. And same for you and negative. Be careful what you allow inside, because that's what will kill you from inside. So control what you allow in. Yes, the politics are bothering us. Yes, the kids, the school, the government, maybe your landlord, whatever. Everything, you can't control them, but you can control what you leave and what you let inside. The bad thought we have a lot is anger as well. And anger and frustration often goes together. And just this morning, the little podcast I heard about frustration is generally when we are frustrated, when we want something very quick, we want it now, and we can't wait. So we have to learn to wait and enjoy the process. And again, frustration is when we can't control something. And the speaker this morning was talking about, for example, you are stuck in the traffic jam. You can't control that. There is no way you can control that. But again, you can control the way you feel about that. And if you know every day you will have traffic jam on your way to work, either you try to control that and maybe leave earlier so you escape the traffic jam. And if you can't control that, and you know you will have to go through traffic jam, control the way you think and the way you feel during that traffic jam. That moment of driving and being stuck in the traffic jam might be an occasion to listen something positive, to revise the surah of Quran, for example, to listen to something more spiritual, maybe talk on the phone with people you didn't catch up with for a long time, and again, try to plan in advance. I will be stuck for 40 minutes in the car. How can I use that time? And plan some podcast plans, whatever you will do. And you will even look forward for that next traffic jam for tomorrow, because that will be a productive time of your life. So that's the thing you can leave behind. Now, when you think about next year and changing, you might take on board a new habit. The new habit, I will again list some and see what you already do, and that's fine. What you can think, oh, I need to implement that, and add that on your board. Have plenty of water. We need a lot of water to do the housework inside, to cleanse inside, whatever weight you are, underweight, overweight, we all need water. Not having enough water means the fat will stay, and means the energy will go down, because the body will be busy scrubbing around everything because it doesn't have enough water. So that can be a very good habit. And just changing that, not changing even anything else, just having more water will change so many things. Instead of being in a vicious circle, just having more water, you will go to a virtuous circle, because just drinking more water, you will have less cravings, because obviously you feel already full, so you will grab less things. When you grab less things, you store less fat. When you store less fat, you feel a little lighter. When you feel lighter, you are less lazy. Oh, I need to go to the post office. Why should I take the car? It's 10-minute walk. Let me walk. I will walk. And when you walk, you will gain more muscle. When you gain more muscle, you burn more calories. So when you burn more calories, you will lose weight quicker. When you lose weight quicker, you feel great you feel great quicker as well. You might increase your self-confidence. You might feel more lovely, and the way you feel will impact the way your husband, for example, look at you, the way your kids look at you, and that can impact everything. So if you have only one habit to change, just drink more water. But I have some more. Another habit that you can have is to stop skipping meal. A lot of people I see think, oh, I'm not very hungry, let me skip the meal so I will have less calorie, and so I will lose weight. That's exactly the opposite that will occur. When you skip meal, you are putting your body in a pause mode, and the body will think, oh, we have less energy coming in, so let's go slowly, and the metabolism will go slowly and will store more fat. Skipping meal, that's the worst thing you can do. So make sure you don't do that. And when we are talking about meal, plan the meals. The day before, when you go to sleep, try to think about, oh, what will I have tomorrow for meals? Where will I be? What option will I have? Oh, there is nothing to buy where I am, so I will skip the meal. So if you know in advance you will skip the meal, plan again and take something with you. And that doesn't take a lot of time. You can grab something on your way to work. You can plan in advance a few things to bring, and they are very easy. They are easy options. We don't need to cook to eat healthy and balanced, but we just need to think, and we adjust our habit. It's a little like when you learn that you are allergic to something, you will start reading again all the ingredients of the biscuits, of the food you'll buy. Oh, this one I can't, this one I can. For a few weeks, you will be a little uncomfortable because you have to check everything. But after 1 or 2 weeks of reading everything, you know now what you can eat, what you can't, and it will be like a new you. And I promise that will make a big difference. Another habit that you can take on board is to have plenty protein. Having that means you will feed your muscle. When you feed your muscle, you are stronger, because muscle is not like the fat. Fat, you don't do anything, it stays. You have to fight it to go away. But the muscle, if you don't feed them, they go away. And yes, you might lose weight on the scale losing muscle, and you might feel happy, but that's a very bad news, because the less muscle you have, the more tired you are, the more likely you are to be to grab anything junk, and to be moody, and to have slump or brain fog and this kind of thing. So have plenty protein. And another habit can be to reduce sugar. And when I say sugar, it doesn't mean only sweet things. I know people who tell me, oh, I don't eat anything sweet, I don't understand why I have diabetes. But when I see the quantity of rice, the quantity of bread and carbs they have, that's normal that they have diabetes, because at the end of the day, all these carbs, we call them slow sugar in French, because rice and chocolate are literally both sugar. The only difference between the two is that the rice, you have 1 or 2 hours to go walk or running to burn it, compared to the chocolate that goes straight to the blood. But the rice, if you don't go walk or run to burn it, you will store the same way as if it was sugar directly. So reduce your sugar and your carbs, and replace that with more protein. And a next habit would be more veg. Vegetables and fruit will not bring a lot of calories, so it will not impact really your weight. But why we want a lot of veg is because of all the vitamin and minerals they have. Particularly with COVID time, we need to boost our immune system. It will not be with carbs. Our immune system will be boosted with vitamin and minerals, and you find them in fruit and veg. And again, remember that everything you do well, or you will have an impact. When we lack something, for example, lack of vitamin or lack of whatever mineral, the body will cope how? Storing fat. That's the thing that the body does very well, always storing fat. And we always think that we store fat and we gain weight when we eat too much. That's true, but the main reason why we gain weight and why most people are overweight, it's not because they eat too much. It's because they don't eat enough, because they don't give to their body what it needs. So the body compensates with fat. It's like if you lose your eyesight, you will start developing you will hear much better because you will try to compensate exactly like your body does with fat when it doesn't have the others. Another good habit you can implement next year would be to have more sport. It doesn't mean 45 1 hour minute of high intensity bike. No. And depending on your hormone, that would be even harmful to do that. But at least walk every day. Walking would reduce the fat around the heart, so you are less likely to have heart attack or strokes or things like that. And having just that walk will give oxygen to your body, and you will have clearer ideas. You will take better decisions, and you will see life much clearer. And then sport, you have to adapt your sport to your hormones. If you want to know what hormone type you are or what hormone you have too much or not enough, contact me. I will do the test with you, because when you don't have a lot of hormone or you are lacking some hormone, the problem is doing some kind of sport or too much sport will even unbalance you even more. So sometimes sport is not the best thing. Adapt the sport to what makes you feel good. And for example, swimming, if you can, and always, if you know already you don't have a lot of hormones, make sure the sport you do is light. And is so light that your body doesn't feel that it's exercising, because exercise comes with a little of stress. We release some cortisol, which is the stress hormones. And if you have a lot of hormone, that's fine. Your body, with all these hormones, manage the cortisol. But if you are lacking most hormones, you can't cope with the stress on top of that. So you shouldn't do that. So always adapt. And then you can try to have a morning routine. There are two ways of, again, the podcast I heard this morning was about frustration. And generally when we are frustrated, most people who are frustrated very often are people who don't have a morning routine. They take the day, they open their emails or their messages, and they are victim, we can say, of others. Instead of managing their life, they are replying to everyone. So again, they are reacting to everyone. They are not acting on their life. So have a morning routine about thinking what's most important today. What the most important thing I want to do. For example, I have a book called Eat That Frog, which means when you get up, there are a frog that you need to have to eat this morning. If you always delay, the idea of that frog will be the worse through the day. Eat that frog in the morning, and everything you will do after that will be like a bonus. You will have done the most important thing of your day, and you will see that will be like a rolling snowball. Once you start rolling it on the hill, at the beginning it's small and it accumulates very little, but when you let it go, at the end you can't even control that, and you will move mountains. So have a morning routine and plan the day. And that's easy to plan your day. Just for example, regarding nutrition, what food will I have today? And if you feed your body and you give your body what it needs, even if you have cakes on top of that, or a colleague brings some chocolate or whatever, your body will handle, because it will not be in debt. It will not be lacking anything. So the body will think, why is she giving me that chocolate? I don't really need it. So it will just get rid of it. So always think what my body needs today, and feel that needs, and then everything that comes on top will be dealt with. And the way we deal with accidents. When something happened, yes, you had a piece of cake or something like that. When you see that piece of cake, there are two ways of thinking about that. Oh, I had a piece of cake and feeling guilty, feeling very bad, I will gain weight. If you think that, yes, you will gain weight, because your brain always wants to please you. Whatever you think, you are right. So if you think that piece of cake will make you gain weight, you will. But if you think, oh, my body, I give, and you talk to your body and you tell them, I gave you everything you needed today, and I fancy that piece of cake, so can you just get rid of it? it will, and that's the way you need to deal with accident. As I said before about what happened, we can't control what happened to us, but we can always control the way we react to that. And that's always in our control. And we can always make any trial, anything, an opportunity to become bigger, an opportunity to become greater, maybe to get closer to our creator, and think, how can I transform that accident, that trial, in something I can get something positive out of it. And always think, last thing I want to share, and moms and women, they don't really do that a lot, and they should, is treat. You should treat yourself and reward yourself when you do good. If for 1 week you have been quite good, you have walked, you have eaten what you wanted to or something, have a treat. You wanted a handbag, go for it. You wanted a piece of cake with friend, go for it or something. But treat yourself and acknowledge that you have done very well. Like this, your body will be very happy to do well the next week after. It's like kids, you know, kids or colleagues or husbands, because husbands are no more than big kids. That's the same. When you treat them, they will want to do more for you. But if you never acknowledge the good they do, they will stop even doing it. And every time they do well and you treat them and you acknowledge that, they will start doing even more than even what you ask. They will anticipate. Oh yes, mommy always wants the rubbish to be out that day. You will see that someone in the house will have put the rubbish out. You can be surprised about how much praise have an impact on kids. I learned that in my parenting workshop, but it's true for ourselves. And we, even when we have done something great, we don't stop and acknowledge that. We move to the next trial or the next problem in our life. Don't do that. Take the time to enjoy that moment. And that's not being proud. That's acknowledging that you are great in what you do. And yes, you can do even better after. So I hope that all these things will help you to have a better year. And feel free to contact me if you want your assessment and see more in detail what you do well, what you can improve, and we can have a plan together about making that year even better. Have a good day, everyone, and a good year. Bye.